Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Pyromancer here, bringing you guys the 6.2 Destruction Warlock guide, finally. I plan to make these guides a lot better than my last set of guides. Now that we're a little bit into 6.2 and I actually know what's going on, I'm going to release these guides now. We're going to do probably maybe one a week, and I'm not going to do Demonology until I've had extensive testing with Demonology because I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. So this is the Destruction Warlock. As you can see, I have all the spells on my bars that I find relevant. We're gonna jump right into it like we always do. So we're gonna talk how a Destruction Warlock is played. A Destruction Warlock is a very good hybrid AOE and single target class where they can do really good burst on demand. They can do really good AOE and they can do pretty good cleave with proper use of Havoc. So we're just going to jump right into talents really quick. And let me explain something really quick. As far as Grimoire of Sacrifice and Charter Remains go, you should probably have some form of the GSR, Gorn Soul Repository, from Ore Gorger and the Blackrock Foundry, or better, to run this. Like, if you don't have enough crit or a really good crit proc, it's probably not worth running. Also noteworthy, this guide is going to be based around assuming that you have the Fragment of the Dark Star, which is your class trinket obtained from any difficulty of Archimonde. So quickly we're going to run through talents, and not that much has changed. Actually, nothing has changed since 6.1, so if you watch the 6.1 guide, you're good to go. But I'm going to use Soul Leech, which reads, Incinerate, Shadowburn, and Chaos Bolt grant you and your pet shadowy shields that absorb 15% of the damage they dealt for 15 seconds. That paired with Soul Link and Grimoire of Sacrifice is a very good combination. Reason being, Soul Link, 20% of the damage taken split with your demon pet, and 3% of the damage you deal heals you and your demon. Now, this does have a cap. And Grimoire of Sacrifice, sacrifice your demon to gain one of its abilities and increase the damage done by your Incinerate, Chaos Bolt, Shadowburn by 25%. Does not apply to spells affected by fire and brimstone. Remember this, please. Also increases your maximum health by 20% and causes you to regenerate 20% of maximum health every 8 seconds. So, let's just get rid of that. So, looking at my gear, I do have the 4 set from Hellfire Citadel. And the 4 set is, the 2 and 4 set are both vital to the new playstyle of Destruction. Now, let me explain really quick. Your 2 set reduces the cast time of your Chaos Bolt by 0.5 seconds and increases its damage done by 2%. This is static. It is always going to be like that, and it's so good. The reduction on Chaos Bolt is so good. And then the 2% damage, cool. Your Chaos Bolt has a 12% chance to not consume an Ember. Now, I don't like this very much compared to your Immolate has a chance to generate a full Ember, our last set bonus. Your when Immolate deals damage has a 4% chance to generate a full Burning Ember. I don't like it, only because if you're in the middle of a Chaos Bolt cast, that old set bonus can proc, and you instantly know, hey, I'm going to need to cast another Chaos Bolt, whereas now you have to wait till your Chaos Bolt actually goes out to know whether or not you kept the Ember. So, all of that said, we're going to jump into the stat priority of Destruction as of later. The latest update, it's, and I'm a little bit Mastery starved right now, I know, it's hilarious. It's going to be Mastery over everything else, hands down. Then Critical Strike, which I have a fair bit of crit. It's actually sickening. Okay. Then I would honestly value Multi-Strike over Haste, and then Versatility, because we still don't want Versatility. Some of you may have noticed I went Human. Has nothing to do with anything Warlock related. I just wanted to go Human, because I was sick of Gnome. Not being able to cast over certain things is pretty annoying. So now that we have the talents out of the way, Burning Rush is pretty standard. Shadow Fury, these things are kind of, you just pick them. Burning Rush for PvE pretty much the entire time. There's not really a choice whether or not you want to go with Archimonde's Darkness or not. You kind of just need to use it. The 2 Dark Souls is very good. I can't think of an instance in Hellfire Citadel where you'd want to take KJC, and Manros Fury is pretty much out of the question as Destruction. Real quick, if you are lower geared, going Demonic Servitude and Grimoire of Service is an option. Cataclysm could be used, I suppose, and actually, I don't even know where you'd use Cataclysm, honestly, but Demonic Servitude at lower gear, lower item level, probably about 6 660, 670, maybe Demonic Servitude, Grimoire of Service is going to be a better option for you. Really quick, Glyphs. I pretty much just pick the static Glyph of Eternal Resolve for a 10% damage reduction all the time. I will sometimes pick the Glyph of Soulstone. I am often picking Glyph of Conflagrate in Hellfire Citadel because there's quite often ads that need to be stunned or slowed or something. Or Glyph of Siphon Life. There's plenty of options for Warlocks. Demonic Circle's good in some situations as well. Your minors don't matter because they're minors. Pick whatever you want. So let's just get into the rotation really quick. As far as it is right now with Class Trinket. So your Class Trinket, let's read this. Incinerate increases the critical strike chance of your spells against that target by 4% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. So that would mean with a 5 stack with the heroic version, you could have a 20% increased critical chance on the target. Now, let me show you this really quick. Let me show you what it looks like. So I have a weak aura that displays my stacks, okay? So I have 1 stack on the target. I have 2 stacks, 3 stacks, 4 stacks, and this is going to be the 5th stack. So my Chaos Bolt's going to hit pretty hard with this. One thing you have to take into consideration is travel time on the Chaos Bolts. You don't want to cast it at like 2 seconds because there's going to be travel time to the boss. That's why this Trinket's pretty annoying. I would have liked it better if the Trinket was a self-buff on you, not a debuff on the target. And it was universal. It worked for everything. And I also wish that it was on cast, not on impact. Because if it's something like Iron Reaver, where you cast that Incinerate right as she's flying away, it's going to be a bad time. So let's get into the rotation of Destruction really quick. So Destruction has 4 main abilities, and they are Immolate, which is your standard dot that will generate you Burning Embers. Conflagrate, which is an instant spell with 2 charges on a 12-second recharge that reduces movement speed by 50% if you have it glyphed, generates Burning Embers. Chaos Bolt, which is going to be your main damage dealer, especially with the build that we're using here. You can see Chaos Bolt 77% of my damage. And then Incinerate, which is your filler spell, and it just deals damage and generates Burning Embers. Now, you'll never really have to worry about mana as a Destruction Warlock. We have a very, very good passive that I believe is called Chaotic Resources that makes it so we generate shit back pretty fast, your mana. So we have something, I don't know. We have really good in combat mana regen, so that's never really a problem. Now that said, we're gonna get into the rotation. So how does it work? If you're on a single target, you want to keep up Immolate as much as possible. That's a given. You want to keep up Immolate all the time. Try to have as close to 100% of time as you can. And you want to also use your conflags on cooldown. So when you conflag, you get these things called a backdraft stack. And a backdraft stack makes it so your Incinerate's cast time and mana cost is reduced by 30% per stack. So I have 6 of them. Or your Chaos Bolt's cast time is reduced by 30%. And that will use 3 of your stacks. So you can see here, if I Incinerate 3 times, 1, 2, 3, I'll only have 3 backdraft stacks. But if I Chaos Bolt, it's going to take my last 3 away. Boom, gone. But there are points where you might want to generate more embers. So you're just going to be using your conflags on Incinerate all the time, which is generally what you're going to want to do. And then, but if you have a proc like that, it's about to run out. I'll spend some conflag stacks, backdraft stacks to get that Chaos Bolt out to meet those procs, and that results in a higher DPS. So again, you want to keep Immolate up. You want to conflag on cooldown. If you need embers, you want to use your embers to generate Chaos Bolts. You also have a spell called Rain of Fire, which you'll only cast on the move if you don't have conflag stacks. Don't use Rain of Fire pretty much in any other situation. It's pretty useless. So that's the general rotation. You want to keep up Immolate, Incinerate Fill, use your backdraft stacks on Incinerate, and Chaos Bolt. So aside from that, we have a couple other spells that are very important. Now, we have a spell called Shadow Burn. This is very, very important, and you need to be good about using it. Shadowburn instantly blasts a target below 20% health for X amount of shadow damage, generates burning embers if the target dies within 5 seconds. So you might notice that this costs a burning ember. This is our execute, but you're only going to want to use it if you're going to get the shards from or if you're going to get the embers from the target, or if you're havocing, which we'll talk about in a second, a high health ad and shadowburning a low health ad for some Havoc cleave. Now let's discuss Havoc really quick. Havoc is an instant spell on a 15-second cooldown. Never glyph Havoc ever, please. Causes your next Chaos Bolt or 3 other single target spells to also strike this target. So watch this. If I Havoc that, you can see right there. I Chaos Bolt this target, it's going to hit both of them. Now, had I not Chaos Bolted and I used, say, Incinerate or Immolate or Shadowburn or Conflag, it would work for 3. So here we go. I'm going to Incinerate both of them right here. And I get 3 of them. There you go, just like that. My Havoc is still technically on the target, but it doesn't have any more stacks, as you can see. And yeah, it's pretty simple. Now, as far as cooldowns go, we have a couple very important cooldowns. And one of them, the main one, is Dark Soul Instability. Now, this infuses your soul with unstable power, increasing your critical strike chance by 30% for 20 seconds. Something that's very important to note about Destruction is that critical strike, since your Chaos Bolts will always critical strike, your crit value actually just scales up your Chaos Bolt damage. It doesn't increase the chance that your Chaos Bolt's going to crit, because it will always crit, so it will just give you more Chaos Bolt damage. You get 2 stacks of this with the Archimonde, Archimonde's Darkness talent. That's why we take it. So you get double of this. It's a 2-minute recharge. And it's very, very good. Lines up with a lot of things. And I generally will hold my second Dark Soul for something that's very high priority if I don't have a Dark Soul up at the time, or I will save it for double Dark Soul during Lust. So, that said, another very big cooldown for us is Summon Doomguard, which summons a Doomguard for 1 minute to assault the target with its Doom Bolts. Now, I'm just going to summon this real quick so you can see. It is a 10-minute cooldown. Please be aware of that. It will reset on a boss wipe or a boss kill. Please take note of that. This demon will do a decent amount of damage if you watch him. He's there for a minute, and he's only been out about 10 seconds, and he's already done 88k damage. So there's 2 things that are very important to note about this demon. He does hit harder based on your procs. He will dynamically update with your procs, unless that was randomly changed. He also does benefit from Bloodlust. That's also something to note. And he will do increased damage to the target when the target is under 20%. I believe he does 20% more damage to any target under 20%. So you either want to use this guy during Bloodlust or in the Execute. Now, if you use him in the Execute with Bloodlust, he's going to do some big boy damage. Now, I want to note that I do not have my Legendary Ring yet, so I will be making a video about how to properly use the Legendary Ring when it is obtained. I need 6 more Tomes of Chaos. And there are a couple other noteworthy spells. Okay, so we have the generic Fear, Eye of Kilrog, Enslaved Demon, things like that. We also have a spell called Ember Tap, which heals you for 9% of your health. And I believe, let me just check this really quick, because okay, increases the effectiveness of burning ember consuming spells by 78%. So I want to say, and I should probably have looked this up beforehand, but I really don't give a shit because you don't Ember Tap really that much anyway. I want to say that Mastery will increase your Ember Tap's effectiveness because it consumes burning embers. Now, it says it will consume 1 burning ember, but that's not true. It will only consume half of a burning ember. And with Enhanced Ember Tap, it will also heal your demon pet for 20% as much. Now, let me just verify this, so let me Ember Tap. Never mind, it will take a full ember. Maybe that was a set bonus, whatever. You don't really Ember Tap that much because it takes an entire ember, and it doesn't heal you for that much. It's only 9% of your health, so that's not that good. We also have a talent called Flames of Zoroth, which is a 1 ember instant on a 1-minute cooldown that instantly revives your last demon. We have a Ritual of Summoning, of course. If you've ever seen a Warlock, you probably know that they have that. We have Soul Shatter, which is very useful. Reduces threat by 90% of all enemies within 50 yards. It costs 4% of your maximum health. We have 4 different kinds of demons we can spawn. this is something to note. If you look right here, this is my command demon button that that is changed while using Grimoire of Sacrifice. So if I pop this, I will get 30% more health for 20 seconds. Now that is because I sacrificed a Void Walker. Now let me summon a Fell Hunter. And then let me just sacrifice it really quick with Grimoire of Sacrifice. Now look, I get a Spell Lock ability. So depending on which pet you sacrifice, you will get a different ability, but the buff that you retain through Grimoire of Sacrifice will always be the same. Please don't get that confused. I have people ask me that all the time. The buff that you get will be the same, regardless of which pet you sack. It's just the ability gained from it. The Succubus will give you a knockback. The Imp will give you a Dispel. The Fell Hunter will give you a Spell Lock, Silence/Interrupt. And the Voidwalker will basically give you a Last Stand/Shield Wall type ability. Now, if you're going to be using anything that heals you on a percentage of your health, if you pop your Bulwark and then use, say something like Ember Tap, it will heal you for more because you have more health. That's percentage based. So yeah, that is very important. You also have your Demonic Summoning Portal, your fucking teleport, summoning portal, what? And then you have the Transfer to it. That is on a 30-second cooldown if you do not glyph it. Glyphing it can be good in several situations. It's situational. You got to figure that out on your own. So let me just give you last couple tips before you go to the gameplay video. So how you'd want to do your rotation is generally speaking, you get your pre-pot, then you incinerate, and then you want to keep Immolate up. You want to conflag on cooldown, use it on incinerates. Especially since I have this trinket. You want to get Havocs if there's more than one target. Keep using your conflags on cooldown. Keep Immolate up on the target. Keep Chaos Bolting. If you have the trinket, keeping your stacks up. Let's just burn a Chaos Bolt there. Using Havoc on cooldown once again. Now, one thing that I actually wasn't even doing that often when I first started playing Warlock was pre-Havocing. Now let me explain what this is. It's Havocing on a target, preemptively waiting for a new target to be spawned. So watch this. So Havoc has a 15-second cooldown, right? So if I pre-Havoc, it's on the target for 15 seconds as well. The duration of it is 15 seconds. So as this ticks down, it ticks down, and ticks down. Let's pretend this other training dummy isn't here. Okay, now the training dummy suddenly appears. I can Chaos Bolt, but the training dummy still has health, but my Havoc's also coming off cooldown, so I'm going to Havoc the other target again and get another Chaos Bolt in a shorter window, whereas if I Havoc'd right when the other ad came up, I would be waiting 15 seconds right now for my other Havoc to come back. It's just preemptively preparing. This is something that's really good to do, especially when you know that you're going to be getting some Shadow Burn cleave in. So let's get to the gameplay side of the video. Thank you so much for watching this. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comments section below. Feel free to like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the gameplay video. Welcome to 6.2.